episode 11 of Top G and Uncle B. My friend, last time I saw you, you were headed up to America. You are back. Thank you very much. Thank you, America, for looking after our friend. All veiny and looking lean and mean. You attended the NADA show.
I did.
And hopefully, I've been very excited to do this. You've been very busy all over ENCA and on many other podcasts, but I've been dying to sit with you and unpack what you've seen in America, what works there, what we can potentially adapt to our market, because we need innovation.
Yeah, Uncle B, it's nice to see you again. Did I ever seen you this year?
No.
I haven't seen you in 2025.
No, not
and
yet.
It's February.
Yeah, we've spoken on the phone, but we haven't seen each other. That's why I said you're all veiny. I know you're doing the carnivore diet and you've got a six-pack. My friend, you're looking good. I haven't seen you this entire year.
Oh, wow. Geez, that time flies. I mean, America, what can I say? Going there, firstly, is freaking long.
It's a nightmare.
It's... You know, if you try, it's very expensive to get there first.
Two or three flights.
So I had 3 flights on the way there, which turned into, still 3 flights, even with the delay. So 3 flights going there, because if you want to go direct, it's incredibly expensive to get to the US. You can go direct, but you're going to pay a lot of money to go direct versus going via London or Dubai, or depending on which airline you fly with, and then you land in America. Either in Atlanta, Miami, or Dallas, and then on to New Orleans.
Okay.
That's where the show was in 2025.
How many dealers were attending this year?
Not as many as when you went, you and I went together.
Okay.
And the reason is as follows. So landed in Dallas. Everything was smooth until that point. And then landed in Dallas, opened my phone, and got a message to say, New Orleans airport's closed. Oh, shit. Why? Now, I was traveling, and I didn't know, in the same cabin as me was Ghana Mashibi.
Okay, CEO of Westbank.
Of Westbank, yes.
Yeah.
And a couple of his executives. And they didn't know either. So I said to them, guys, you know that we're stuck in Dallas. We're having a Dallas party for the next 2 days.
South African style.
South African style. So stuck in Dallas for it ended up being about 24 hours. So I wasn't late for the start of the show.
Nice, at least, yeah.
Because I got into a hotel, slept overnight. Fortunately in Dallas, so I wanted something to eat, and the hotel I was in was very close to the airport because I wanted to be at the airport so that I could be on a standby flight.
Yeah.
In Dallas. So there was a food truck outside, my friend. Typical dinkum American street food truck outside this hotel, because they didn't have a restaurant.
Nice.
They got like a snack corner, but they didn't have a restaurant. So and this food truck sold Thai food, curries, those kinds of like Eastern foods.
Okay, that's before your carnivore diet.
Yeah, before
started.
no.
Okay.
So I decided to go to America, ignoring my diet.
Okay.
Because you can't. It's just impossible. Anyway, so I thought, let me ignore it. I will start the carnivore diet when I get back. And I had, my friend, the hottest Thai green chicken curry.
Hotter than our Durban curry.
Hotter than our Durban.
Hot.
Our Durban bras can learn something from that.
Hey, man, you guys must improve.
You must go to Dallas. And it was served to me by a Chinese lady serving Thai green chicken curry.
Okay, she says you're gonna learn today.
She says to me, "Do you want mild, medium, or hot?" I said, like, flip. Do Americans know what hot is?
Yeah.
I said, nah, give me hot. She gives me hot. My friend, my eyes were watering in the hotel room. I was looking at my laptop and I was crying. It was so bad.
In that cold, eh?
In that cold, yeah. So the thing about American food is the portion sizes. You've been there.
Yeah, yes. Like this.
The portion sizes are huge. So when you order something, you just got to be careful. Like, it's big. The portion sizes I didn't finish it. I didn't finish that curry. Anyway, I got to New Orleans. And then everyone was delayed getting there.
Okay.
So the place was pretty empty until about Saturday.
And when did the show actually
Friday.
start? Friday
Started
night.
the Friday,
Friday morning.
Friday morning, yeah.
Friday morning,
Started the
okay.
Friday morning. So I got there the Thursday, fortunately.
Beautiful.
I'd left the Monday night from South Africa. I got there the
Jeez.
Thursday. And the show started the Friday. Brilliant opening speech. You got to follow this guy.
Okay.
And let me look him up quickly. I wasn't gonna do this, but
By the way, we have a TV. So now Elsie can help us look for things and research things.
lovely.
Yeah.
So my friend, you've got to follow this guy. His name's Ryan Leak.
Ryan? how do you
RyanLeak.
L
EAK.
A-K.
He's an executive coach and motivational speaker. But this guy is unbelievable.
Okay,
He's-
I saw on your Instagram channel.
Yes, I posted
you
a-
posted some
I posted a
stuff,
video
yeah.
on my Instagram
Okay,
channel.
Family guy, young. He looks like
Yeah, no,
he's
he's
in
young.
his 40s.
He's young. He's young.
Ryan
He's got
Leak.
such a nice charisma to him. He's Ryan Leak is his name. He's
Okay.
American, obviously.
Yeah. America.
So eventually got to New Orleans, and then day one was opening, and attended a couple of talks. You know how the talks go.
Yeah, beautiful.
Got all these talks.
Beautiful.
The rooms were like half to quarter full because people were delayed in getting
Yeah.
there. Usually 14,000 dealers come to this show.
Yeah. It's a mess.
At least. I mean,
crazy.
there's double that in America, but 14,000 dealers come to that show.
Crazy.
Crazy. The show was as big in terms of the offerings and the stands, was
Okay.
as big as it was when you remember. But the first 2 days were very, very benign. It was actually quite nice because it was quiet.
Yes. You could have a little
Everybody
bit more
wanted to talk to me in their stand.
Nice. Oh, yeah.
Because I'm the only
'Cause they
flipping
attack
cat
you.
walking down there.
They attack you.
And then you open your mouth and you're South African, and then the question is, where are you from?
South Africa.
And then I make them guess, and they guess wrong. So that was day one, day two, and then I started to attend different talks. And I mean, there's a lot of content there, but the biggest topic on everybody's lips was artificial intelligence,
AI.
AI.
Okay.
And I learned quite a few things, a couple of nuggets that I didn't know.
Okay.
About AI and its use cases and how we're using it wrong potentially.
How are we using it wrong?
Yes, how we're using it wrong, and our understanding of really misunderstanding of how easy it actually is.
How easy it is.
Yes,
Okay.
it's not as difficult as you might think.
Okay.
To use these platforms or to integrate with them.
I agree, especially ChatGPT. I think it's 4.0, the
Yeah.
paid version.
Yeah.
And I create a lot of marketing stuff on there in my leisure time, which is late night or like Sunday afternoons. I even sometimes I'll send something to Elsie and I'm like, what do you think? She's
impressed.
She's like, geez, you know, especially with my All Stars where the left foot was. So I'm like, how do I get people to buy? Sorry, I'm diverging, my friend, but I'll be quick.
No.
So we bought 22 ATOS AMTs.
Yes.
Hyundai ATOS AMTs
Yeah.
on a package deal, 22 of them. All white, same mileage, like a year and a half old, low mileage car. I'm like, how do I get people to buy these cars from me? I'm like, what doesn't an auto have? Doesn't have a clutch. So what happens if you press the clutch too much? ChatGPT. Create an image of a pair of All-Stars where the left foot is worn out. Boom. Then it shoots up to a pair of All-Stars, and then the left foot has like a big hole in it. So I'm like, yeah, that's cool. I'll put it on Instagram. If you don't want your shoes to look like this and you're driving to Joburg and back every day, call me. I've got a beautiful selection of automatic cars. Boom. Send. That's freaking wow. It took me 30 seconds to create that image.
Yeah, so that's so that exact process, right?
Yeah.
So if you kind of ask me what the value was in attending an AI is what you just did.
Yeah.
Is called prompt engineering.
Yes.
Okay, everybody's now familiar with prompt
Yeah.
engineering. It's becoming a real job in the world, prompt engineering. But what you can do to automate a prompt engineer is what these creative companies are doing, and they're calling it their AI software.
Okay.
All that software is doing is being a prompt engineer to the LLM. and training the LLM by giving it information, training the LLM, which is ChatGPT,
Yeah.
okay, or one of the others, by getting responses and saying, yes, that's correct, no, that's wrong, and then releasing their software or their bot on that basis.
Got
So
it.
feed it information or use it in its raw state, but in its raw state could be dangerous. And create a piece of software that's a layer on top of the large language model that is the prompt engineer, if you want to use a word for it, is the prompt engineer.
It's like a filter.
It's like a filter. It's all that your software is doing is probing the large language model for information and sanitizing that information.
How you want it to be displayed or
That's
seen.
all
Yeah.
it is.
Got you.
So these big companies that, and I mean, they're doing a good job. So let me not. There's a company in America that has built a piece of hiring software, and they're not scared to be transparent, right? They've built it on OpenAI.
Beautiful.
Okay, so they're transparent, and all that it does is it automates your recruitment process until the point of decision making. It'll even interact with the candidates.
Wow.
Okay, so the candidate has to obviously come onto their platform, and it'll interact with the candidates. And all that it is a prompt engineer.
On that, my friend, like super weird. I spoke to my wife last night, and she was undecided between two directions into what am I going to study next. She's always studying, like always getting an extra diploma. She's always studying, and she had two directions. So she uploaded her CV and all her accolades into ChatGPT. And ChatGPT suggested what she was leaning towards anyway. So she's going to study that now.
Okay, the only thing ChatGPT can't do is know what's in your heart.
No, of course.
And
So
what your drive is.
she was leaning towards that, but she just did it as an exercise.
Yeah.
And then she asked why, and it validated based off what
Her
perceived interests are.
and interests and
Yeah,
experience.
yeah. Sorry, I
Awesome.
interrupted you.
No.
Sorry, I interrupted.
No. So that's using ChatGPT. You are the software.
Yeah.
Is my point. Right?
Yes.
But building software is building a layer between ChatGPT, call it,
Yes.
and a human, that does what you did with the All-Star shoes.
Yeah.
And that's what these software companies are doing. They're doing a good job. Now, the other thing is, you can ask ChatGPT or one of the others, Gemini, etc., to write the code for the software that will prompt the AI in the first place.
Unreal. Unreal.
So if your mind works in a structured enough way, you don't even need to know how to code.
Yeah. You
in
don't.
order to write the code. You might need a software engineer, maybe just one, to help you structure it and put it into a form that is usable. But you can ask ChatGPT to write the software that is the prompt engineer.
That will filter out the information that it goes and gathers in a way that you want it to be
Yes.
to be filtered.
You can go
out
onto
towards.
ChatGPT now if you've got the paid version and go and create your own what's called a GPT.
Yeah.
And the GPT, you can feed it with information.
Yeah.
You can say, ignore the internet, ignore this, ignore that. Just use this information.
Yeah.
Train it on a particular data set.
Yeah.
So AI was a massive, massive topic.
Awesome.
And most companies were showing off how they had used AI in their so the last time I was in the NADA, all the software providers were at a certain point. AI didn't exist really.
Yeah.
This time, that was the thing that was integrated into most platforms.
That's what I loved about NADA when we were there together. People are, and that's, in my opinion, the difference between that market and this market. People are, let me not use an ugly word, but people are very open and free to, like, where are you from? What do you do? I sell Hondas. Well, we sell Subarus. Have you seen this? Like, this is kick-ass. If you use the software, you increase your profitability by 14%. This is how it's helped us. they're very open in sharing value.
Yes.
When SA, not so
So
much.
so the I think I have a theory, personal theory about what South Africans do that Americans don't.
Okay.
Where does success lie? In the idea or in
Execution. No,
or
it's always in the
implement?
execution.
Always in the execution, right?
100%.
The Americans have figured that out.
Yeah.
They've figured out the idea means absolutely nothing.
Sorry for the bad word. Means
Fuck all.
Yeah. That's a proper South African word. Yeah.
Means fuck all. The idea your idea means fuck all until it's executed, right? South Africans have this notorious bad habit of trying to protect idea. I had a guy phone me the other day. I'm not going to tell you who he is because you know who he is. Okay? Not a bad guy. Phones me. I have this thing that will revolutionize the auto industry.
I get it a lot as well, my friend.
And I mean, I get this, also a lot. So I said to him, I almost said his name. I said to him, okay, I'm going to put you in touch with our head of business development.
Yeah. Chat to them.
Unpack the idea. If the head of business development thinks that it has merit, we'll have a longer chat. How's that? No problem.
NDA. I know
So this
the
guy
drill.
comes to our business development department. He says, I've got this idea to revolutionize the auto industry. My head of business development says, okay, tell me what the idea is. And I'm open to listening to anything.
Yeah.
Right? Immediately, as you say,
NDA.
I need you to sign NDA and this and that and the other. And immediately we put off.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I wrote him a message back. I said to him, beep, I won't say his name. I said, very respectfully, we don't invest in startups or ideas when your business is off the ground.
Yeah.
And there is a mutual future benefit.
And you're making money.
And you're making money.
You can prove to me.
Come and talk to us.
Yeah. Maybe.
Because right now, really, it's an idea.
Yeah.
That's all. Good luck to you. Godspeed, and have a nice day.
100%.
Very respectful. I mean, the guy's idea might just make him hundreds of millions.
I hope it does.
And I hope it does. I hope he comes back to me and says,
Yeah. The WhatsApp
I
story we
want
had
him
on the last
I'll
episode.
screenshot that WhatsApp and say, I fucked up again.
Yeah. Won't be the first or the last time we do that.
Yes.
It's fine. No problem.
But my point is really that South Africans versus Americans, in my opinion, are too idea protective.
Yeah.
And don't realize that the magic is really in the execution.
Yeah.
It's really in the execution.
Yeah. What else did you see?
So the last time we were there, I think I went one time after we went together. After that, just before COVID, and then I went 2 years ago as well. The last time we saw a lot of software, a lot of versions of the same software.
Okay.
So, for instance, you'd have 7 social media companies at the show, and you'd have 7 companies that do 360 photographs and background blurring and photograph processing.
I don't like those, by the way. That's my personal opinion. It's very bland.
Well, we can get into that if you want.
Yeah.
So, lots of dealer tools. So, but if you think about it, really, what a dealer wants is an inquiry and a highly qualified inquiry.
Yes.
The higher the qualification on the inquiry, the better for the dealer because you can close in with less resource.
Closing
okay?
ratios go up, profitability goes up.
So every company, CRM, social media, it doesn't matter what, you are doing one simple freaking thing. You are going to the market, you are getting consumers, and you're passing it on to the dealer.
That's it.
That's all you're doing.
Yeah.
You can do it in whichever creative way you want.
Yes.
Okay. I saw less of those multiple versions of the same thing. So that means that in the last 5 years, a lot of companies have died off.
Yes.
I saw so photo processing, I saw 2.
Only 2.
Only 2. Website companies, I saw 3.
And that was the event to go and showcase your website development company when I was there with you.
So a lot of the larger ones from years ago are still there. That's what I noticed, and a lot of simplification and refinement in those products is another thing that was very, very. It stood out a lot. The show was as big, but there weren't. You know, when you get to the cheap seats, the guys at the at the end, they've got the little stands.
Yes,
there were less little stands.
Okay.
Yeah, less littles. All the big guys were there. So Auto Trader, Cox,
Cox Automotive,
Cars.com, all those guys were all there with all their products.
What I saw from the people that I follow a lot of car guys in the States. And Gary Vee speaks on it the whole time, and I'm very interested in that. We haven't spoken about it before, but it's almost like almost a live shopping experience. So there's one or two salespeople that personally get mentored by Gary Vee, and he introduces them on his channels the whole time, where the guys are doing live. It's almost going live on TikTok and speaking about the cars, and people join. Then there's 100 people on. Then there's like 1,200 people on, and questions. And the guy does apps. He gets approvals. Oh, bro, you declined. I'm so sorry. Like it's a thing. It's a reality show. I'm like, guy's. I'm watching myself doing my job on TikTok. That was awesome to see them at the event. And there's a guy that actually bought cars at a stand. I still sent you a screenshot, but I might have been too late because of the time differences. He invited everybody on Instagram story. If you're selling a car and you're in this area, I'll be at stand number so-and-so. Come to me. He's got a live webcam at the back with a headset. People walk in, they sit. Now I'm selling this and this car. Okay, tell me about the car. Researches the car like you have a tool, and makes him an offer. The car outside, he's got an evaluator buying cars at NADA in the parking lot. That was cool to see.
So one of the things is they had a lot of signs at the show this time with what was called. It was interesting. I took a photograph of it. What was called briefcase stands.
Briefcase stands.
So
Okay.
There was signs everywhere saying briefcase. No. Briefcase selling prohibited. Okay. Because if you can't afford to be in the show and have a stand, you get these people who will buy a attendance ticket, walk around with a briefcase.
Okay, and sell you on their product.
Without having a stand.
Hustlers, eh? I love it.
if we catch you with briefcase selling, you're out of here.
That's cool, my friend.
So I think all in all, a lot of things validated for me what Auto Trader is doing at the moment. And again, I mean, you've seen, I'm very transparent about Auto Trader's tools, future tools, things we're doing, features we're building, because the magic is in the execution, and nobody can execute as fast as us.
Yeah, no, true.
We've proved it now for 15 years straight. Every product that or feature on the platform, ratings and reviews is another example, that we release, we first get bad-mouthed by the competition.
Of course.
Okay.
Because it's innovative.
You know who I'm talking about. And because we hear from the salespeople that we got bad-mouthed. And then the second thing is we get copied.
Yeah, immediately. So if you can't beat
so that's
them,
quite flattering, Yes.
Yes.
It's like, okay, let's see if they copy us, because if they copy us, it's a good thing. So I think going back to the first thing we were talking about, and that is South Africans are very idea protective, which I think is dumb. Ideas are a dime a dozen. Execution is where the rubber hits the road, really. PBD speaks about this a lot.
That's a differentiator. My friend. And you can take it macro and micro. We have almost 30 salespeople. The weakest performer last month did only 5 cars, and the strongest performer last month did 30 cars. They all spend the same amount of hours at work. Until last month, they all received the same amount of training from the same person at the same time, the same leads. One did 30 cars, one did 5. Difference in income is, it's crazy. It's wild.
Exactly. So Talking, I suppose, staying with the industry, I have a question for a big dealer like you, because these things we try and solve these things as time progresses, and as Auto Trader, we think as an independent, it's part of our journey to solve these problems, and that is the industry currently. I mean, we're a small market. Auto Trader touches 120,000 listings a month. Okay, so it's small. It might sound big, but it's small in comparison to the UK. It's small in comparison to America. I mean, I think we're even smaller than one state of America.
Okay, really?
In terms of volume.
Interesting.
Yes. So at the moment, and the smaller you are, the more this problem exists.
Yeah.
So the smaller your economy, the more this problem is a big problem. And that is the issue of supply of vehicles. Do you have a problem finding good, clean cars?
Huge problem. I don't have a problem, but there's a huge problem.
There's an industry-wide problem, right?
Huge.
So let me for everyone else's benefit, let me unpack why we are here. Okay? Not we are here with a pin on the map, why we are here. So the first thing is the buying and selling journey diverged.
Big time.
Right? That started to happen probably 10 years ago, and it was as a result of the internet.
Yeah.
Access to information, transparency, and more particularly that consumers could comparison shop the selling of their car online. Not only the buying, but the selling of their car. The moment you can make a comparison about how much could I get for this car. So buying a car is all about value.
Yeah.
Not only price. Buying a car is all about value. Selling a car is all about price.
Yeah. 100%.
Okay, so the focus gets very acute on the selling side for a consumer.
Yeah.
If I'm selling my car, as long as I get the highest price possible.
I don't care.
I'm not worried about your coffee. I don't care about anything else. I want to sell the bloody thing.
It needs to be safe. You need to transfer the money. I need to see the money, and the best price wins.
Yes, because when I'm buying a car, I might have a future relationship with you as a dealer.
Yes, I hope so, because what if something goes wrong?
Yes.
If you're selling a car, if it goes wrong, it's not my problem.
It's all about price.
Yeah.
Okay, because you're getting rid of it. So the buying and selling journey diverged over a decade, I'd say, and as that buying and selling journey diverged, dealers, supermarkets, and innovative software platforms consolidated the consumer selling part of the market.
They disrupted it.
They did. So Wheelie, We Buy Cars,
in the Western Cape,
Getworth.
Yeah.
Motus has a buying division. We started Instant Offer.
Yes.
So that isolated the consumer selling leg of the journey. Okay, with 3 or 4 big players that consolidated that part of the journey. So if we park that for a second and we look at private sales, so consumer to consumer, has never worked in South Africa because of safety reasons.
Yeah.
Okay. So that has now created an opportunity
for a middleman.
Yes. Okay. Good for them.
Absolutely.
Hats off. You can say what you like.
By the way, very hard to do.
Harder
than you think.
Yes. Hard to do. So good for them.
Yeah.
But that leaves dealers with a waning percentage of trade-ins, because now a consumer's not coming and exchanging one car for another. They're looking at this deal and this deal separately.
Yeah.
So my question to you as a dealer is, how do dealers win in this world? Number one, question one. And question two is, what lies ahead for the industry, and what are the potential moves that you think a disruptor could make in order to disrupt and change the way the current consumer selling journey is?
Okay. Awesome. I'm going to unpack the first question first.
Sorry for the long introduction.
No, good. Thank you. It's a very important question. And I love the the idea versus execution. So last year we had 3 successful masterclasses. Two. The third one I cancelled. 2 successful masterclasses. I don't know if the book is in the...
There it is.
There we go. There's the book. We invited you with other role players in the industry, and you attended, and I shared the idea, and I gave a step-by-step on how to execute. Step by step. First you do this, then you do this, then you... So you can't do move 1 and 3. You have to do move 1, 2, 3 because
It's sequence.
this is the sequence, and this is why.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. When it comes to buying a vehicle and the danger. So the dangers are multiple. And this is why the dealers are under tremendous pressure. So I'll maybe give you a maybe 2.5 minute story. We figured out that if we have buyers on the road, we can advertise that service and compete head on with the buying services. We will have an edge or a niche rather that we're going to stay in. Low mileage, newish model car, high spec, will pay you more. Whereas the buying services will buy anything. It's like top of funnel, whether it's a Lambo or a car or a lawnmower. We'll buy anything. Just send it our way.
Yeah.
We'll place it in the market.
Well, I mean,
which is fair.
their underlying brand
them all.
tagline is "We buy them all."
We buy them all,
Yeah.
100%. So the more we expanded, the more exposed we became. And eventually, after the 14th, my friend, 14 cloned vehicles that I purchased. 14.
Did you lose the clone vehicles?
All of them.
Wow.
14th cloned vehicle that I purchased. I had I don't know if it was a epiphany or I don't know what came over me, and I said, all right. Now, I grew up watching gangster movies and like
Godfather.
the Italian mafia, and I'm watching all these podcasts, and PBD, he always speaks of why do you continuously have all these gangsters on your show? Like Sammy the Bull, Gravon, he was a hitman for the one family. So he says, well, in business, you have to understand the underworld. And in order for you to be effective, you need to know the rules that they play. So at that stage, I'm very close to someone that is very influential and runs an undercover team in SA.
Yeah.
And I found this person, and I say to him, listen, I'm heartbroken, brother. I just purchased this vehicle. It's a cloned vehicle. Cloned vehicle. Explain to me what that means. So I share with him how they've done it, how I got caught out, and the amount of money that I've lost. He says, okay, let me make some calls. He makes some calls. He phones me back. He said, I'll set up a meeting with somebody that is doing this type of stuff, undercover meeting in Brooklyn. So I meet with this dude.
Yeah.
I've openly said this many, many times, and that's how I promoted the masterclasses to the dealers, because I sat with one of the kingpins that does cloned vehicles, like this. Very nervous. I had 14 files. I'm expecting this weirdo to pitch up. Not at all. Very friendly, soft-spoken, calm, normal built guy. Very friendly. So we back and forward, and he educates me on how this underworld runs.
Yeah.
Very lucrative, very intricate, and it's very difficult to prosecute because of the way that they've structured it. So that's the danger. That's why dealers don't have buyers on the road, because they don't have the sequence on how not to buy a cloned vehicle.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a sequence. After that day, it's been 4.5 years. And my friend, we're buying 200 plus vehicles per month, most of them from private individuals. So we are now more exposed than we ever were. We haven't bought one cloned vehicle in 5 years after that meeting.
Because of your process.
Because of our process.
Yeah.
So that's the first part. The second part is a dealership mentality is 99.9% a lifestyle sustaining job or business.
Yeah.
So we do this, we are relatively good at it, and we employ people and we live a comfortable life. very few of them are competitors that want to compete and look around and like, this guy's beating me there. Let me improve this area. This guy's coming up in this area. How do we team? Look at this. Like, I'm a psycho. I called a meeting yesterday and I said, this is working great. Whatever we're doing, we suck here.
Yeah.
And then the team spent, how many hours did you guys spend? Okay, and what do you think?
We're going to take out a few ads and repurpose the money into
I mean, 2.5 hours later, I know that we're going to improve. So very few dealers think that way. So they're very slow to change, and they're very fast to complain. And these are my colleagues and my friends and our mutual friends, very fast to complain. So that's the problem. That's the biggest problem.
Yeah.
To go out and compete against the buying services of Wheelie, We Buy Cars, you first need to spend money advertising. Once you've got that inquiry in, now you have to sift through them. So 20 came in. Realistically, only 3 are our profile. Go out and view the vehicles, and then have the ability to box and fight against the other buying services, because when a customer wants to sell their car, they approach everyone. So that's the biggest challenge. The second biggest challenge is...
So let's just park there for a second,
Okay.
right? So if I'm hearing you right, and I think I'm right, is that buying a vehicle as a dealer or supermarket or whatever it is, right, is all, like I said, all about price.
Yeah.
And it is the race to who will give the consumer the most money for that car. That's what it is.
It's
No matter your feelings.
Yeah. The race to the consumer, first of all.
Yes.
How do you reach him?
You have to get there first.
Yeah. And then
But the
give him
chances of
most
you
money.
being the only one getting there is low.
While navigating the very high possibility of purchasing a cloned vehicle.
Yes. So you're navigating this risky world. Plus, you've got to be the person or the dealership that offers the consumer the most money.
Yeah.
You got to.
Yeah. You have to.
You can't sit in this antiquated world of the trade and the retail looks like this and that and other. Then rather walk away.
Yeah.
You can't complain about that.
Yeah.
It's an economic force.
Yeah.
To be dealt with.
So the first step to solving the problem, or the one direction that one could go in, is somebody has to educate the market and provide a compelling enough case for majority of the dealers to deploy this strategy where we'll know how to manage the risk of a cloned vehicle, and we are brave enough to go out there and compete. Very hard to do. This is very hard to do. Or perhaps the second way is for a dealer champion to emerge and champion dealers only. That will be easier to pull off, but harder to sustain long term, because that's how We Buy Cars started. They got very big. Dealers were buying only from We Buy Cars, and they were never offering cars to the public.
Yeah.
And eventually they saw the gap that, listen, we can just sell to the public as well, and nothing wrong.
No.
That's capitalism.
Yes.
The Uncle Van and Dirk are billionaires. And I mean, hats off. If I had a hat, I'll tip it for them. That's how Wheelie started, with an online sort of an auction where dealers could compete against each other for the highest
I
price.
saw Fawn and Dirk and the team in Nada.
In Nada, yeah. I don't think they miss one. Yeah,
No.
yeah. So Uncle Fawn's a good guy, and I haven't spoken to him for a while, but I was going through some shit a couple of weeks ago, and at I think it was 10 to 10, he sent me a long message like this. I don't know if I shared it with you.
You did.
Yeah. So he's, as hard as he is, he's a good human.
Yeah.
But he's a hard businessman.
Yeah.
Okay, park that aside. He's done very well. He's disrupted. He has like murdered dealers because they failed to innovate. Very hated in the industry because he's so successful. So I think a disruptor, there is a what do you call that when you win the Formula One? That to go and receive the
podium?
There is a podium that's empty right now
Podium place.
in South Africa to champion dealers and connect the private individual to the dealer in a way that the dealer has zero risk in terms of a cloned vehicle, and the dealer doesn't necessarily have to go out to the consumer. I don't know how that looks, what that setup's going to be like, but if someone can pull that off, It's a multi-billion rand business, in my opinion, and very quickly.
Okay, so that answers my question. How do dealers win in this world, and what lies ahead to disrupt, which is what you're saying right now. And
Yeah.
I think, I'm 99% on board with that. With in the back of my mind, having learnt and still learning from our product called Instant Offer,
Yeah.
which we change on a regular basis,
Yeah.
and which direction that goes in. So very interesting. I was with Amoda and JQ the other day,
Yes. From China.
and I was talking to them about Chinese vehicles in South Africa. That is, so the impact on the auto industry, and then we can also touch on ArcelorMittal
Yes.
leaving South Africa.
Yes.
I think that's all kind of topical.
It's a
in
big deal.
the industry at the moment, or it will be topical in the near future anyway.
I hope it won't, but yeah, it's a big thing.
So, just to give you context around why this data is accurate that I'm about to tell you on the Chinese vehicles in the country, and that is, AutoTrader has a search on our platform. Has 23 searches per second.
23 searches per second on the website.
Yeah, on our website.
That's intense, my friend.
23 searches per second. Okay,
That's
You can do the
intense.
maths. That translates to, listen properly,
Listen carefully.
that translates to 663,077,489 searches in a year.
Holy moly.
663,077,489 searches in a year. 23
Holy
searches
moly.
per second. Okay. We fortunately and humbly have 13 million visits to our platform per month.
That's grown
And
from
growing, it's grown from 0.
10. It's grown from 0, but grown from 10 like a couple of years ago.
It's growing at anywhere between 15 and 20% year on year.
Jeez, my
So we're capturing the new entrants, especially after the pandemic, and we're taking away from our competition.
Good.
Okay. I say this in a very thankful way. We are more than 2 times our closest competitor at the moment. In fact, if you sum up all of the traffic except for AutoTrader searching for cars in South Africa, you don't get to AutoTrader size.
Got
So
you.
you're looking at it a slightly different way.
Got you.
You sum up all the competition, okay, including the buying services. You don't get to AutoTrader's traffic. I mean, you should exclude the buying services because different business models.
Als, that was a jab at our website as well, just by the way. We need to improve. We need to get better, contribute more towards.
I did not mean that. Okay, here's
That fires me the F up. I'm like, let's go.
here's another stat. AutoTrader sees 400 million. Sorry, consumers look at 400 million adverts per year.
Jeez, that's intense.
Okay, so when you click on the ad,
That's an advert view.
advert view.
Gotcha.
In America, they call it a VDP. In the UK, they call it a FPA, full page ad.
Okay.
Vehicle details page in America. CAV, consumer advert view in South Africa. Okay. We send almost 3 million inquiries to dealers per annum.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Okay. So that's the context, and but let me unpack the data out of that context. So I think it's representative, right? Searches for all cars. Well, let me predicate it on this. Since August last year, searches have been declining on Google for cars.
Okay.
Okay. As we stand at the moment, searches for cars on Google have declined by 2%.
That's
And
huge.
declining by 2%. Okay. Searches for the brand AutoTrader on Google has grown by 18%. Okay. Searches for cars on AutoTrader's platform, all cars for 2023 to 2024, for the whole year, has grown by 11%. Okay, here comes the kicker. Take a stab at how search growth has grown for Chinese vehicles. Okay, so now you got the context, right? Just if you focus on one number, searches for all makes, models, and variants on AutoTrader has grown by 11% 2023 to 2024. How much has search growth grown for Chinese vehicles?
No idea.
112%. Just over 2 times. Okay. Now,
In 1 year.
yes, but I've got to qualify it because the searches for non-Chinese vehicles is 97% of all searches. Searches for Chinese vehicles is 3% of all
Okay.
searches.
That gives me a little bit of a peace
Okay.
of mind. Yes.
Until I give you the next stat.
Okay.
The share of searches for Chinese vehicles has tripled from 1% of all searches to 3% of all searches in 12 months. Which means if that trend continues, we will be at 9% by the end of 2025. Call it 10% of all searches going to Chinese vehicles, and 20% by the end of 2026, if that doubling, tripling effect carries on. Okay, so within 3 years, the Chinese market, the Chinese vehicles could take a third of all searches on AutoTrader if the current trend continues.
That is intense, my friend.
Okay. At the moment, Chinese car brands contribute 6% to overall supply on AutoTrader. 6%. 94% are all other brands, non-Chinese brands. Okay. So the supply, if you want to kind of compare demand and supply, the supply is small and the demand is growing. And I think the search demand will just continue. Because if we flip to the ArcelorMittal closure, which is a big furnace, should I say a metal producer, and they're rumored to be leaving the country.
When?
It's been postponed now because they're trying to do a deal for R1 billion bailout
From government.
from government. So now you add factors like ArcelorMittal leaving South Africa. 50% of a car is made up of steel.
And I mean, we've got Ford, we've got VW, we've got Toyota, we've got Mercedes, we've got all these non-Chinese brands that depend on that steel.
Yes.
And we're already having our asses handed to us by these Chinese imports that are coming in at a price point where it's uncompetitive.
It's uncompetitive, yeah. So now you think to yourself, okay, the marginal cost of a car manufactured in South Africa is going to go up. Becomes uncompetitive.
Completely. They're dead in the water.
We also become uncompetitive in our exports because 55% of all vehicles manufactured in South Africa are exported overseas.
It will be too expensive.
We won't be competitive in the global market. Okay? So this is just from ArcelorMittal leaving the country. And they're only leaving because they're making massive losses because, perhaps trade agreements aren't where they should be.
Yeah.
Okay? And they're like, we can't do business here because we're making losses. So now you got a scenario where the cost of producing a car that's not a Chinese vehicle or not an import going up, a locally manufactured vehicle going up, right? What's going to happen? What's going to be the effect for Chinese vehicles? The demand's going to continue. Why? Because the price of imported vehicles are not going to come down. Where does that leave us?
It leaves us with a huge gap of leadership. Someone has to step in and say, okay, what's important to us? We hear it a lot: job creation, sustainability, growth. How do you protect the jobs? Because what happens? We lose the metal industry or the furnace. We have to now import metal. That goes up. VW says, listen, it's uneconomical to produce it here. Well, where's this metal coming from? Well, I'm just thumb sucking. It comes from Brazil. Well, let's produce them in Brazil. Anyway, the market's so small here, we'll send it up to America and the rest of the world from there on ships. And there, boom, how many people lose their jobs then?
And then we become another Australia. Do you know Australia used to have manufacturing?
Zero.
Now they're an importer. And we become another Australia. Thousands of jobs lost in the manufacturing plants in South Africa.
And I mean, the automotive industry contributes, I might get it wrong, like 8% of GDP, something like 8 or 9%.
So I started to do this maths because I have this hunch that we're close to, and as an automotive industry as a whole, we're close to 20% of GDP.
20%.
I think, okay. I could be wrong. I could be off by a couple of percent, okay? Because new car contributes about 6.5% to GDP. But the other day I read a study, South African study. Tires in South Africa contribute 6% of GDP.
Jeez. Tires.
Just tires. So all in all, I mean, that's already 12%.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not sure whether some of those tires on the new cars that get produced are taken into account, so maybe it's slightly less. I don't know. But if you take all of those little industries into account, the automotive industry is a significant part of our GDP.
So how do we protect it?
It's down to government policy. That's where the rubber hits the road.
So someone needs to intervene, come in the middle and say, okay, realistically, I can't remember where I saw it, but I know it's the CEO, I can't remember his name, of Toyota South Africa, or the CEO.
Andrew Kirby.
Yes.
Yeah.
He wrote a letter to government
Yeah.
pleading to relook at the current climate because job losses are
Imminent.
Yeah. That was basically the summary of the
Not
letter.
surprising. Let's move on to lighter things.
Let's go.
Maybe it's not lighter. Trump's executive orders and the tariffs he's implementing on the world. I watched a podcast the other day where this clown says, tariffs, when a country implements tariffs for imports, what Trump doesn't understand is that the companies in the country have to pay the import tax. Yeah, you fucking plonker. You're right.
Plank. Yeah.
You plank.
Yes.
Of course you're right. But the thing you're missing is the downstream effect of the tariff. If the policy and the trade relations are set at the right place, you stimulate internal production and internal jobs.
Yeah.
Because all of those products coming into your country are made somewhere else.
Yeah.
So I think, the governments around the world. I mean, I'm no expert in this area, and no politician, but governments around the world would think about this in a way that says, okay, do we have the skill to produce
Yes or no?
particular part of the industry?
Do we have the resources,
The
natural
and the
resources?
skills to produce? Because those are the two elements that go into producing, right? And if we've got the resources and the skills to produce, increase the tariff.
Yeah, because we are
Because
capable.
we can make it
Yeah.
ourselves.
Yeah.
Likely at the same price or cheaper, let's make it more expensive to get in.
Yeah.
So that plank is leaving out half the story, and it's just propaganda.
Yeah.
So tariffs, if set up right, I think can benefit a country massively. What is your view on
I'm going to tie
international
that back,
tariffs?
I'm going to tie it back to Chinese cars coming into South Africa. So the problem is there's a lot of discussions and deals that are made that we are not aware of. So it's not as easy as, in my opinion, it's not as easy as Uncle Cyril calling stakeholders of the automotive industry and manufacturing, specifically manufacturing. Can we produce these cars here? Okay, we do the bailout. What does that mean in terms of job security? How many people's jobs do we save? What percentage of GDP will we be able to save for R1 billion? Okay, cool. Make that decision, make that call. All right, how do we stimulate that? This is how. How do we stimulate the growth of internal sales of the brands that are non-Chinese? The only way is to tariff the import of Chinese vehicles so that
Separately.
Yes, 100%.
But we won't do that.
But there's no other way of doing it. How else would you do it?
Well, I mean, if you think about putting tariffs on Chinese vehicles, South African consumers want them. That's where I think the rub is,
Why do they want them?
because they're affordable and they give value for money for the price point, more than another vehicle.
Well, then,
So then the economics around the other vehicles are the problem. It's not the economics around the Chinese vehicles, is it?
okay, valid point. Valid point. So how do we fix that? Well, VW needs to step up.
Well, yeah,
Toyota needs to step up.
we need to find creative ways to, we all know that likely Chinese are subsidizing those imports.
Yeah.
Right?
The government. Yes.
The Chinese government is subsidizing those imports.
For how long?
For how long, we don't know.
Yeah.
So how long is a piece of string? But the South African consumer benefits as a result. But it's a short-term drug.
Yeah.
Okay. How do we fix the economics of the rest of the brands in order to compete? I don't know the answer to that.
It's very hard.
I'm just CEO of Auto Trader, that's all.
And I think that's what Trump has been rallying for
Well, for America.
For America,
Yeah.
yes. To tariff Chinese vehicles up to 300%
Gee
on the one rally that he did, to make it so unaffordable that people will no longer buy them because of price point, and
Yes.
they'll support the American manufactured
Yes.
vehicles and he admits also that are perhaps not as good now, but they can get better.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, when there's change, there's pain and there's casualties.
Yeah. Yeah.
And maybe we are trying to avoid the pain.
Yeah. I think that's what we're trying to avoid.
Trying to avoid the pain.
I've heard that they are looking into buying. My friend, this conversation 4 years ago people would have been like, what's under the table? Are these guys drinking and speaking to us here? There are rumors of Chinese manufacturing plants that are going to take over manufacturing plants in Germany, VW plants in
Wouldn't
Germany.
surprise me.
And Chinese vehicles are going to be manufactured in Germany. That is crazy.
Well, I mean, unless something changes, it's not going to be long before the penetration of Chinese vehicles around the world is seen, except
Yeah.
for America.
Yeah.
Except for America.
Uncle Trump. Uncle Trump.
You wanted to talk about this carnivore diet.
Yes.
So I came back from America and I decided, okay, I've had enough of carbs. I want to see what happens. My ultimate objective is my mind. Okay. But what I see is a downstream effect on my body.
Okay.
No, I don't think it's a downstream. Maybe it's the other way around. I'm sorry. Upstream effect, a downstream effect to my brain, although your brain's on top of your head.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Treat your body well, and your brain is a machine.
Yeah.
So I come back, I thought, bugger this.
Treating your body well, sorry for people because they're going to misunderstand what you said. Treating your body well is not giving your body what your mind thinks it needs, like a McDonald's and a Coke. That's not treating your body well.
That's treating your mind well.
Yes. Treating your body well is giving your body what it needs.
If you treat your mind well, your mind will kill your body.
Yeah. Yeah. So don't be confused.
Yeah. Your mind will kill the host that it lives off and then die itself.
Yeah.
So don't be confused. Bobby's right. So I decide, okay, I've tried a lot of things. Mental resilience is my ultimate objective. And I want to have clarity of mind for as long as possible in my life. How do I achieve that? I've been reading about this carnivore diet. Jordan Peterson does the lion diet, which is a slight variation I found out in the last 2 weeks of the carnivore diet. So let me kind of unpack what carnivore is, right? So carnivore, pure carnivore diet is only eating an animal. Only. Like those people who believe it's anything else, like animal products.
No, it's only animal.
Only the animal. Okay. Milk, cheese, eggs, yes, can be part of the carnivore diet, but it's not the strict carnivore diet.
Okay.
Okay, so that's the departure point, is the definition of what carnivore is. And I've learned this now in the last 2 weeks. I didn't know, like, until you start really experiencing it. So the Sunday night, I'm having my Pavita and cheese. Tomorrow morning, I'm on this bloody thing. And Monday morning I start. This is about 2.5 weeks ago. Monday morning I start, and I'm like, okay, it's not so bad. Pack myself steaks for breakfast, lunch, and pre-workout. Breakfast,
Let's go.
mid-morning,
Let's
lunch,
go.
dinner. Didn't do this. I'll tell you about this in a second. Didn't do this. Pack my lunch, eat. Day 1 was fine. My friend, day 2. I thought I was about to give up. I wanted
On day 2 already.
On day 2, I wanted to sleep under my desk.
No carbs, eh?
0 carbs. I was tired the whole day. I was grumpy. I didn't feel like talking to anyone. I was lucky we didn't see each other. Maybe you would have picked me up. Day 2, I'm like, fuck, what is going on? Why am I feeling like this? And you know, knowing me, I'm like, I'm finding the solution. I'm not giving up. Bugger that. So it turns out that your mitochondria can only, I'm no doctor, so there's no doctor's advice, and there might be nuances to this, but your mitochondria can only use 2 things for fuel. Carbohydrates, which turns into glycogen.
Yeah.
Okay, that's an immediate source of fuel, right? Refined, unrefined, doesn't matter. It's all glycogen.
Yeah.
Okay. And then ketones. Your body turns what you consume in fat into ketones. If you think about this as dials, if you dial the carbohydrates down to 0,
Okay.
and you don't have enough fat,
No energy.
you will have 0 energy.
Got you.
You will. I've experienced it. Tuesday, Wednesday, I was buggered. And Thursday, I had the Jaco and Amoda whole day session with 100 people. I needed energy.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck, how do I fix this? So, guess who? ChatGPT. On WhatsApp, Uncle Bobby. I'm feeling fucked. Next morning, I'm like, okay, got my answers. Okay, and this is now what I've been sticking to since that Thursday. Wake up in the morning. If you want to know my routine now, and I've got energy for days.
And a 6-pack.
6-pack starting. Yes,
I saw it earlier.
It's the top bit's there.
I was like, what's that? You're like, yeah.
So in the morning, wake up, pre-workout, 1.5 hours before gym, is 200 grams of ostrich meat or lean meat. So you can also eat venison.
Yeah. I love venison.
Anything that's lean, no fat. Okay, lean. Because your body can absorb that quicker than fatty meals.
Okay.
Fatty meals take long to absorb. Eat that. 60 to 90 minutes later, go to gym. I only spend 30 to 45 minutes in the gym.
And how's your strength?
Strength's same.
Same. So it hasn't decreased.
On the days I was tired.
Yeah. But now
I think
now
I
that
skipped gym. I think I skipped gym 2 out of the 3 days.
Okay.
Because I was just no
You
energy.
can't. You can't.
So normal energy level. Normal strength levels. And so I get back from gym. Now, for 1 month, I'm not eating any dairy. Okay, I'm pure carnivore.
That's hard.
Get back from gym. Now, there's 2 kinds of meat that have. So the ratio, for everybody that wants to know how I got here, the ratio of protein to fat to keep your energy levels is 1:1.
Protein to fat.
Yes.
How do you get that right?
Okay. So if you are consuming, so I consume about 1 kilogram of meat a day now. Okay.
It's a
1
lot.
kilogram of meat is approximately 250 grams of protein.
Yeah. Okay. Got you.
About 250 grams of protein. You've got to eat almost that in fat.
How?
Okay. So first of all, the cuts of meat that you eat.
Okay.
Okay. So lamb has a 50-50 ratio,
Okay.
protein to fat.
Okay.
Sirloin, less fat than protein.
Okay.
And this is what I learned. I didn't even knew these things. I'm not a cook.
Okay.
Ribeye steak,
My
50-50.
My favorite.
That's the perfect one to eat, ribeye steak. and the most expensive
That's the best one ever, yeah.
50-50. Okay. So if you eat the leaner cuts of meat, you've got to supplement with fat. So now you ask yourself, okay, what fat? Avocado? No, it grows on a plant.
Yeah, you
it's
can't.
not carnivore.
So how?
Grass-fed butter.
Grass-fed butter.
So I supplement with grass-fed butter. So the way I do that is in bulletproof coffee. You can go Google bulletproof coffee. Okay, so I'll eat lamb or a fatty steak for breakfast, and then about 2 or 3 hours, probably 3 hours later, because your digestive process is longer, and then at about lunchtime, when I eat the next meal, I'll have a bulletproof coffee.
And that supplements your fat.
It supplements the fat.
Okay.
That takes me all the way through to the evening, and then I'll have another steak. And that takes me to about 800 grams of meat. And then if I want, I'll have another 200 grams to get to 1 kilo.
Have you lost weight?
I've lost 2 kilograms.
2 kilograms.
But of fat.
Of fat, yeah, because your muscle mass hasn't disappeared.
Not that I can see. Not that I can feel.
Okay.
Not that I can feel.
You are as strong. You've lost fat.
Yes.
Your energy is up.
Energy is fucking through the roof. My mental clarity. Oh, and another thing I'm not doing is I'm not touching alcohol.
No alcohol.
Yeah. So, I like whiskey.
Yes.
I'm not giving it up. Sorry, I know you don't drink, Uncle Bob. but I'm not drinking alcohol as a test. I want to see what it does to my mind. I might end up not drinking it again.
Okay.
Because
yeah,
my sleep is unbelievable.
Okay. I by the way stopped drinking for a different reason. Not because I stopped drinking because I didn't know how to drink.
Okay.
So I was a lot.
You didn't have breaks.
Yeah, I had like rough rider friends. So when we went drinking, it was a sport, my friend, and I'm a fucking competitive dude. So yeah, I didn't know how to do it properly. So I never did it with gentlemen. My friends are all, some of them are still my friends. They're all animals, like crazies.
So that's what I'm doing at the moment, and I'm loving it.
Awesome. Well, you look good.
My biggest challenge. So if you had to ask me what my biggest challenge is my snacks. The alcohol is not a big challenge.
Yeah.
Okay. My snacks are the challenge. So I used to snack on Bulgarian yogurt,
the best in the world,
and cheese,
the best.
And now that's the problem when you're sitting at home and your work's done and you're like, I want a snack.
Can you eat biltong?
Yes,
I mean, you can eat
so
biltong.
I did that last night. Yes.
Supplement it with
It's
biltong.
not the same as Pravita and
No.
cheese.
And Bulgarian yogurt.
So I'm like, I will control you.
My friend, so yeah, me and you have lengthy discussions. Your will and your willingness to be the guinea pig and the experiment amongst us is admirable. Your mind is very strong. I would have chowed the Bulgarian yogurt long ago. I can't handle no carbs, but you're looking good. And for anybody that tries to do this, it's hard.
It's tough.
But clearly worth it.
You know what? 12 rounds, I'm going with this thing.
Cool. This was an interesting podcast. I think this was more dealer facing than anyone that we've done in the past, number 11.
It was, definitely.
Anything else you want to unpack?
You were speaking about the US hostages and your prediction for Saturday.
So
I'm very curious because let me give you my one-liner. Rightly, wrongly, mistake, no mistake, Trump has put a line in the sand now.
I promise.
If you take anything out of his campaign, he delivers on what he says. Okay.
Yeah.
So I hope this isn't the first time, perhaps, that he doesn't deliver, because then he's going to lose credibility.
Yeah.
Right. But it does mean chaos.
Yeah.
What do you think is going to happen?
Yeah. So we're recording this. It's 10 to 12. It's Friday. And
Valentine's Day.
And
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day, my friend. Hashtag love. So he said publicly that Hamas has until 12 Saturday afternoon to deliver, which is depending on East Coast, West Coast. I'm not sure when to, but latest 9 o'clock tomorrow night for us.
Yes.
Am I right to say
Yes,
so?
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
7
7
difference.
hours after.
So latest 9. Call it
Yeah, so
between
it's
7
probably,
and 9.
take Washington time. What's the time in Washington right now? Time in Washington.
He declared that he needs all the hostages released, not one by one or two at a time. He needs all the hostages released, or else there's going to be hell breaking loose. So couple of things, like
5 hours.
5 hours. So 5 in the afternoon tomorrow, we'll know whether he backs up his promise.
Yeah.
And I think he does. But there's like different scenarios. I'm very interested in this case because he has won the American vote because he says he delivers. So when I say something, I'll deliver.
Yeah.
When I make a promise, it happens. Sitting in the camp of I'm a hostage that was taken, and he says this, I'm very scared because what does that mean? Does it mean...
Do you think he's bluffing that he knows where they are?
I honestly think he knows where they are.
Where they are.
Yeah. I honestly think he knows where they are. And the reason why I think he knows where they are is there's a very viral video. I don't know. I think I've sent it to you. When he was negotiating with one of the terrorists, he took out a picture of his house and he gave him the picture of the house, and the guy's eyes went big. And this is the CIA or the Secret Service that revealed it. And he says, "This is where you live. You do this or else this happens." So I think...
Oh, and they can put a missile right through one of those windows.
Yeah, a drone.
Easily.
Zzz, poof, done,
Yeah,
gone.
yeah.
I honestly think he knows where they are, but all hell breaking loose, in my opinion, is not launching
Bombs.
rockets and bombs and bombing the shit out of everything. It's a stealth mission or a mission where they go in and they try and save the hostages. They try and minimize collateral damage and casualties. But in my opinion, whatever happens, I really hope that the hostages are released, because if they're not, innocent people will lose their lives.
I hope they are. Me too.
Yeah. I don't think he bluffs. I think he delivers on his promise. And secretively, I think he wants to do it to set an example of this is what happens when you F with me. And I hope they release the hostages. But on the other side of the fence, an organization like that will make a decision now. Do we get bullied from this guy? Does he come in and say, I run the world now and we have to dance to your guitar because they've got an agenda as well? Or do we stick to our guns and say, let's go?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, the worst possible position to be in right now is a hostage.
I mean, I think in any scenario, or this scenario, should I say, in any outcome, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. Any move here is a problem.
Is a problem, yeah. Yeah. Man, this is, I hope, when we air this episode, everybody knew what happened. It wasn't, For me, first prize is they say, okay, cool, no problem. Here's the hostages and we'll negotiate, something so that there's no casualties. But looking at who took them, the agenda, why they're doing what they're doing, and me and you spoke about the rat, the snake, and the eagle. So is the snake evil to eat the rat? It depends. Are you a rat or are you a snake?
Yeah.
And then is the eagle evil to eat the snake? So, and I'm not justifying right or wrong. It just depends who you are and on what side of the fence you are. And I think my heart is, and you've said it to me before, I see everybody as good. So there's good in everyone.
Yeah.
So hopefully the good in everyone comes forward here and no one gets killed.
Well,
but
I think everybody wants to be good. Circumstances make them bad.
True. Because if he takes out
power makes them bad.
Power makes them bad. If he takes out, the leadership or a part of the leadership, that's somebody's father, that's somebody's son, that's somebody's uncle,
There's a reaction at
there's
some
a
point.
there's a massive reaction, and this thing just snowballs into a absolute mess.
I hope not.
Yeah,
I hope not.
yeah. Let's see. I'll be watching this very closely.
So let's not leave the show on a depressed note.
Please.
What are you using your bugger salt for this weekend?
Oh man, they say the perfect gift doesn't exist. Raus. You guys, look at this thing here. So we're chatting a couple of weekends ago, like 2 weekends
Yeah.
ago, and you meal prepping. I'm asking you what you
I was
eating.
I mean, you weren't in the kitchen. I had my AirPod in.
Yes.
Like, let me tell you, if there's one thing Bobby and I have in common, is that our AirPods are more important than even our car. Yeah. Here we go. Watch.
And the
watch,
left one
watch.
for me, incidentally as well. The left one's used like a lot more.
So I'm
than the
standing
right
in my
one.
kitchen. I'm busy meal prepping. It was a Sunday, and I'm speaking to Bobby on the phone, and I've got the bugger salt in my hand because there's now flies because I'm cooking steak. And like every now and again, this bah bah bah. I'm busy stalking the flies. Bobby says, "What's going on? Are you okay?" I said, "My friend, you have no idea how much fun this bugger salt. What the hell's a bugger salt? Where do I get one?"
So yeah, the perfect gift does exist. I've got one of those tennis rackets, the Zappa
Yes,
ones.
the Zappa. You sent me a picture of it.
Yeah, and I brought it to work, and one of the guys in the buying department said, "No, I'll modify yours." So when I zap a fly with mine, my friend, it sounds
It's a
like
pa.
an electric fence. Yeah, yeah, and yeah. So this, you put the salt in here, according to what you taught me. Put the salt in here. Just open it. Salt in here. It's got a laser sight. Laser sight. I've got face paint, and then you cock it. Safety off. You aim. And you shoot the bugger. I'm going to have too much fun tonight. So thank you. The perfect gift does exist. Thank you very much, my friend. This is too cool. I can't wait to get
You
it.
got to send pictures.
If there's no flies, I'm shooting my dogs, my wife, everybody's getting salt in their direction.
That was an epic show.
Awesome. Thank you so much. 100% dealer facing this episode, and I hope you guys enjoyed it as well.
Loved it. Loved it.
Beautiful. So if you guys enjoyed the conversation, please subscribe to our channel, share it with your friends. If you think it will add value to anybody else, share it. That's how the word gets out. That's how we get to do more.
Like and subscribe. Main thing.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you for sharing your time with us. Uncle Bobby and Top G out.